problems of trying to get here to Wembley, but it is filling up, and of course it will be full. Perhaps the biggest ever crowd for an FA Cup semi-final. Mackie, your final thoughts? We've said all along it's almost too close to call, but I'm going to try and make you call it some way.
I think it'll be very close. Score draw with Arsenal 6-all. No, I think Arsenal win on pens. There you go, 12-1.
12-1 shout either team to win on penalties.
Yeah, I think the opening 25 minutes will be very tight, sounding each other out. Midfield will be vital for me. But, you know, I'm going to go with Arsenal. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence.
You just said they got no chance.
In extra time, though. That's what you...
Terry?
So we're going to be here till 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
Chelsea, I go Chelsea.
He's sticking as a blue man.
In 90 minutes.
Once a blue.
Doesn't matter. I'm going after that. Chelsea will win.
The Arsenal team just beginning to inch their way out of their dressing room into the tunnel. So we are all set. Who is going to return here in 42 days' time to play in the final as Joe Cole leaves his teammates and has to let them get on with it. He must have a seat somewhere, surely. Let's go over to our big match commentary team. Craig and John Champion.
Good afternoon, Angus. Good afternoon, everybody. Craig, it's a huge game. You've played in 3 FA Cup semi-finals. You're in credit, you won 2 of them. How do you keep your head when all about are losing theirs?
Well, you don't try any dodgy back passes from the halfway line. I've certainly been in that boat and sold the jerseys. So it's a mindset from the player standing in the tunnels. Are you worried about making a mistake, or are you thinking about going out there and doing something brilliant that can change the game and maybe win the game? When you get negative thoughts in your mind as a player, that's when mistakes creep in. But what we've got here in this game, 2 very experienced sides, 2 good sides, bustling Chelsea, robust. Arsenal, if they get the passing game going, could be a threat. It's too close to call. Let's hope we get a cracker.
Well, where better to be on a glorious spring day such as this than the new home of English football. Wembley Stadium, the meeting point of North and West London, and the setting for what should be a truly capital occasion. The 9th All-London FA Cup semi-final involves the city's 2 strongest teams and 2 of the country's top 4. This could be the Champions League final, but for now it's a very attractive FA Cup semi-final. 2 sides with momentum colliding head-on. Arsenal taking part in a record 26th semi-final. This competition has been kind to them, particularly in the Wenger era. Chelsea in their 18th, but they are familiar visitors to this splendid new arena. Unlike the final, there is no presentation party, but the FA chairman, Lord Treisman, is on the pitch to take part in a brief ceremony to mark the 20th anniversary earlier this week of the Hillsborough disaster, which of course happened at an FA Cup semi-final. Accompanied by representatives of the Hillsborough Family Support Group and of Liverpool Football Club.
Ladies and gentlemen, 20 years ago, 96 supporters tragically lost their lives at an FA Cup semi-final at Hillsborough. To mark this anniversary, the FA's chairman, Lord Treisman, and the captains of both Chelsea will now present their Hillsborough Family Support Group with commemorative flowers.
The presentation being made to Trevor Hicks, who lost 2 teenage daughters, to Margaret Aspinall, whose 18-year-old son James was among the 96, and to Philip Hammond, whose family lost a 14-year-old boy, also called Philip. And the match referee that day, 20 years ago, Ray Lewis, amongst the capacity crowd here today. The tragedy of Hillsborough recalled, its victims remembered, and a special poignancy for the Ivorians involved in this match. Emmanuel Eboué for Didier Drogba and for Kolo Touré. Drogba and Touré, captain and vice-captain of the Ivory Coast team, at whose match against Malawi just 3 weeks ago, 22 spectators were crushed to death. Lessons of Hillsborough learned here have yet to be accepted elsewhere. The teams. The Arsenal lineup showing two changes to that which saw Villarreal, Diaby and Danielson for Song and Nasri. There's relief in the camp that teenage left-back Kieran Gibbs is fit to play the biggest game of his short career. There'd been suggestions that Van Persie might be rested because of his recent groin problem. Not so. He was desperate to play at Wembley for the very first time. But Arsenal's concern is at the back, where only Kolo Touré of their regular defenders is still standing.
Well, there has to be a reshape at the back with no Sanya and no Gallas in there, so Bowie again at right back. I think Didier Drogba might look to play on Sylvester back there. Young Gibbs has made it through in a fine game in midweek. We think he'll go to Nielsen and Diaby sitting in there because of the change at the back to give them, John, that little bit of protection in front. Walcott's hitting form again with the pace, should be a good battle with Ashley Cole. Fabregas has got to find that space in between Ballack and Essien, and the real surprise, not that Van Persie plays, but that Arshavin doesn't. But somebody's had to give way, and Adebayor, well, they'll look to get early balls up to him, get balls in the box and put the suspect Peter Cech under pressure.
John Terry was always going to return after his Champions League suspension, but does the choice of Alex over Carvalho signal a changing of the guard? Unsurprisingly, Anelka is preferred to Kalou. Anelka, like Ashley Cole, facing a club with whom he won the FA Cup. Drogba, a constant scourge of Arsenal. Lampard, at the moment, a constant scourge of just about everyone.
Well, one or two thoughts for Goose Hiddink was, you know, is it Anelka, is it Kalou? Is it Carvalho, is it Alex? I mean, most people would have put their money on Terry and Carvalho, really been stalwarts for them, but they've changed that back four. No Basingwa, he's injured, but Ivanovic has been doing a really good job for them. And again, it looks like it'll be a similar shape to Arsenal with Essien and Ballack. When the key players in there, Michael Ballack, I think, needs a big performance. I think Essien has outshone him after coming back from injury. Frank Lampard will look to get forward at every opportunity. Even when he's not in the game, John, he looks to get in the blind side, getting on beyond Drogba, who is back in good form.
7 goals in 8 games. Didier Drogba's record against Arsenal, outstanding, and it suggests that they have a real problem taming him. Part of that responsibility falling to 19-year-old Kieran Gibbs, his 16th senior game. He won't play too many bigger. Both sides freshened up by returning midfielders of world class. For Chelsea, the Bison, Michael Essien. For Arsenal, Cesc Fabregas, who'll hope his scheduled appearance in this semi-final is more auspicious than his unscheduled one at the end of the quarter-final. Wembley in full voice. If last year's FA Cup became a catchweight contest, this year it's very much a heavyweight affair. Referee Martin Atkinson blows the first whistle. It is the Tyros against the Titans. Two clubs with different philosophies. Arsenal rely on R&D, research and development. Chelsea on R&C, resources and checkbook. Arsenal's fans would love Chelsea's money. Chelsea's supporters and indeed their owner crave style. And of course the Gunners have plenty of that. Essien winning the first challenge with Fabregas. This is Theo Walcott. Outstanding against Villarreal. Adebayor. Sorted out by Alex. What a stumble by Ivanovic. Peter Cech, who hasn't had a happy time of late. Fabregas. Adebayor. Walcott. Jostling with Ashley Cole. Getting it away rather easily. Here's to Nielsen. And Chelsea will have a throw. Arsene Wenger, who has had an affair with the FA Cup ever since he arrived. Aiming today to reach his 6th FA Cup final.
I'm just looking at Diaby for Arsenal. Johnny has started a little bit more on the left-hand side than I thought he would do. Just trying to get a grip on what shape exactly they are playing in there. I'm not surprised the way Chelsea are.
John Terry. Van Persie. Danielson. Diaby. Lampard getting through some good work. Milka giving it to Fabregas, and now Diaby, and once more Cesc Fabregas. Kieran Gibbs. Adebayor. There's no one to cross it to. Indeed, that doesn't matter. It's a long time since Chelsea beat Arsenal in the FA Cup. Gus Hiddink was 2 months old at the time, 1947.
That was good strength from Adebayor there on Alex. Alex got a bit tight to him actually. Adebayor rolled him but just lost control of it a little bit. And Fabregas is pushing on towards Essien, Diaby on to Ballack, and Danielson's just sitting on Frank Lampard, obviously very wary of the runs of Frank Lampard. So he'll be looking to keep an eye on him. And you can see he's close to him again.
Terry's ball forward, and Fabianski beaten by Drogba. Gibbs back towards his own posts, and Kieran Gibbs saves the day for Arsenal after a horrible moment for Łukasz Fabianski.
Well, where is the goalkeeper going here? I mean, he just has to let his defenders deal with this so early in a game. He's just wandering out like he's on a Sunday stroll down the park. Let your defenders deal with that, and well, young Gibbs bails him out in the end, but that's not a good start for the keeper's nerves.
Malouda's corner. What possessed him? Biggest game of his career by a country mile. Has played international football, but this is something altogether different in front of nearly 90,000 people at Wembley.
I would think Chelsea would look to get some early balls in that box on Fabianski and get Drogba piled in there. Get him thinking, get him looking at Drogba at the corner of his eye. And that could easily have been a goal though, easily.
Danielson. Arsenal, a team in the midst of regeneration, it seems. After the bleak midwinter months, blossoming with the arrival of spring. Danielson. Now Walcott. A bit more clear ground ahead of him. And then the England captain to deal with, John Terry. Hit the heel of the former teenage Tyro. He's now 20, Walcott. Drogba. And his international colleague, Kolo Touré, came barging into him. Much has been made of the state of the playing surface here. Feel for the groundsman, Steve Welsh, given the varying demands.
Well, it didn't look too bad. I was down there earlier for quite a considerable amount of time, and it looked all right to me, but that's before anybody was on it with the studs and the boots, and people get twisting and turning, and you can quite clearly see from those pictures that it's cutting up very easily. So the ball is bobbling about a lot, which obviously will get worse for tomorrow's semi.
Gibbs. Fabregas. Stretching his Ballack. Gibbs. Anelka. Fabregas. Van Persie. Bundled off it by Ballack, no foul. Ivanovic. It's a not entirely convincing start by either side. That one scare for Arsenal. Fabianski at the heart of it. Danielson. They gave it away. Ballack. Concern for Arsenal is largely defensive. No Sagna, no Giroud, no Eduardo for that matter either, but also no Almunia, no Gallas, no Clichy. Even the deputies have started to get injured now.
Yeah, they've got quite an attacking bench, Arsenal, but we were speaking about it, there's no option really, so that he has got options if he needs to change it going forward, but defensively he hasn't got many.
If Frank McClintock was still registered, he might have made the bench today for Arsenal. It's now desperately lacking in defensively minded players, and they do have this niggling concern over Kieran Gibbs. Not absolutely 100% right after a minor groin problem.
I think Van Persie's been carrying a groin problem as well. I think that's why we thought he might have been the one that might have missed out today, just because of the games they've got coming up, and of course we are Shavin able to play that position, then it wouldn't have seemed much of a problem for them.
Ballack, Ivanovic, it is Lampard, John Terry, who's got a winning goal here for England less than 3 weeks ago. Malouda, boos ringing out for Ashley Cole. It's not a wild surprise. And Essien goes down, and it is a Chelsea free kick.
Yeah, he does well in Essien because, you know, he's got Diaby, big loping legs. Just as he touches a little bit the ball there, but Essien gets his body just across him, and that's what Martin Atkinson sees, but obviously didn't see the little nudge on the ball.
Now, Alex, surely too far out.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen Fabianski's start to this game, I think, maybe, and having witnessed Alex's free kick in midweek, then I think if he can hit the target with a bit of pace and get it dipping again, why not?
He fancies it. Didn't strike it anything like as well as he did in the week. Lampard for once wastes it. Walcott easily bypassing Frank Lampard. Terry. Lampard. Flora Malouda. And Ashley Cole going down under the challenge of Kolo Touré.
It looks like Martin Atkinson's just having a word very early, just coming up in 10 minutes. Touré's challenge on Ballack, and Cole coming forward here. It's a late one, no doubt about it. Nice to see the referee just having a word.
Well, this is an angle that may appeal to Frank Lampard. Curl it in, and Ballack and Drogba and Alex and Anelka can all try and attack it. That's Drogba. Up goes Alex. Now the free kick is given in Arsenal's favour this time.
Poor delivery from Frank Lampard. I think it was a good opportunity there to in-swing it in between penalty spot and the 6-yard box and pile a few bodies in. Any type of flick, John, and the keeper's in trouble, but probably like the start, a little bit patchy. Maybe a lot of nerves out there, I think, on both sets of the players, no matter how experienced you are. It's a big occasion.
Lampard. Lampard, 1 goal short of 20 for the season yet again. Oh, and Sylvestre with a back pass that wasn't the most convincing. Here's Diaby. Conviction is something lacking from both teams so far. Emmanuel Eboué. Diaby. Chelsea ball. Sitting just behind Arsene Wenger, shaking his head, is the busiest man at the Emirates at the moment, Gary O'Driscoll, cousin of Brian O'Driscoll, the Ireland rugby captain, newly appointed as the club doctor by the Gunners. He's got a slight problem, though, in that he's still retaining duties as the British and Irish Lions doctor on their tour of South Africa. And the first game of that tour is on FA Cup final day. Oh, and Van Persie has pulled up there, having been caught by Ivanovic. This is Toure. Danielson. Toure looking for Adebayor. Fabregas was arriving.
Yeah, that's the ball, that's what they look to do. Get Adebayor in between centre-backs, get Fabregas looking to get on any flick on.
Gibbs. He's looking for movement outside him, it didn't come. Anelka. Diaby quickly in. Walcott.
Diaby did well initially. I think it's probably one of the reasons in the side to go and break things up. As I mentioned, he covers the pitch very well with that big stride. And Walcott's looked quite sharp. He probably fancied the tussle we asked to call. Both very pacey players. I don't think he'll get much change in pace out the call, so that'll be an interesting one to look out for.
So Robin van Persie has placed the ball with infinite care. Chelsea have gone 14 minutes without conceding a goal, having let in 7 in little more than one game. 110 minutes. This is Van Persie, and it's not his best.
Well, same as Lampard. Toure was round the back as well. Sneak round on Matt there, John. Again, another poor free kick, another good chance to put a bit of pressure on the Chelsea defence, and didn't do it.
This is Aboué with Anelka at his back. Points separate the side in the Barclays Premier League. Arsenal won at Chelsea in the autumn. Adebayor. That was Terry. Danielson. And Ballack was lurking, and he's got 2 for company. Michael Ballack to Didier Drogba. Oh, first touch took it wide.
Well, he didn't really have any support in the box, so maybe he didn't lift his head, he didn't know that, but he should have done. Should have taken the strike on, didn't have much support. Poor ball initially. It was a good run from Drogba, I have to say. Esse went to the right, and he made a good run round the outside. Chance was there to pull the trigger. First real chance to what the goalkeeper there from a strike anyway.
Well, Drogba's had a couple of moments. One encouraged by the frailties of the Arsenal goalkeeper Fabianski. Diaby. Fabregas. Kieran Gibbs. New boots have been ordered. 2 pairs by the looks of it. Eboué, Diaby. Van Persie. Eboué. Cesc Fabregas. Adebayor. And Gibbs. And a chance for Walcott. Supremely well tucked away. And look at the celebrations of Arsenal, that's what it means. Theo Walcott, whose first Arsenal goal was in a cup final, a League Cup final against Chelsea.
Well, I don't know how well he catches this, Theo Walcott, but it matters not at all. It certainly takes a deflection, but you watch them, they go to sleep here. Nicholas Anelka hasn't got a clue where young Gibbs is. It's a lovely little ball to the back post, and well, it's not the cleanest strike he'll ever have. And Petr Cech, well, he's coming over to his left. Maybe look at the goalkeeper. No, I'm not quite sure about that, but the young lad composes himself. It's the hand of Ashley Cole, that maybe just puts Cech off, but they fell asleep, Chelsea, they backed off, and Gibbs ran off Anelka. Lovely little ball to the back post, and there was young Walcott. Thank you very much.
How much enjoyment do you imagine the Arsenal fans will take from the fact that the crucial intervention was via the hand of their former left-back?
Yeah, I think would be the answer to that, but I think, you know, Petr Cech may have got there because there wasn't a great deal of power, and it had hit Ashley Cole's hand, but that's maybe just a little bit of luck you need in the semi-final, and hopefully it's going to liven this game up.
Well, it should. And Arsenal's fans, whose belief has been tested through the season, now with plenty to sing about. You can see Drogba's still down, and Martin Atkinson appeared somewhat sceptical as to the seriousness of any injury. Bearing in mind the injured party is perhaps not too surprising. It's worth another look, this goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing you get when you've got a striker, as Nicholas Anelka is playing on the right-hand side, is defensively, you're more often than not going to get a great job from him. And he switched off a little bit. Young Gibbs ran off him in behind. He was onside. One or two Chelsea players looked along the line. There was no doubt about that. Walcott held his ground. He didn't get sucked in. He was clever enough to do that, and that allowed him the opportunity to hit a volley, not the strikers. A little bit of luck off Ashley Cole. Petr Cech going the wrong way. Got a hand on it, but it wasn't enough.
It goes down against the name of 20-year-old Theo Walcott. Arsenal's first attempt on goal successful. And the ball entering the net by the hand of Ashley Cole. Danielson. Gibbs. And it was Gibbs who made the incursion down the left-hand side for Arsenal that led to the goal. Anelka. It does now mean that Chelsea have conceded 8 goals in just a fraction over 2 hours of football. Oh, and then a little bit of anger from Ballack. Germans and the Dutch haven't always got on well. That was the case there. Anelka. 2 England players at the centre of the goal. The scorer, Theo Walcott, who Fabio Capello will be delighted to have back in his ranks after lengthy injury problems, and also Ashley Cole. Lampard. Here is Ashley Cole. He's kept it alive for Malouda. Oh, and Fabianski had another awkward moment as the ball seemed to squirm beneath his dive. Arsenal had stopped and were appealing for offside. Certainly Eboué was.
Oh, it didn't look offside to me. It's level there, actually. That's a good decision. I mean, again, this one squirms under the goalkeeper. He's not filling Arsenal fans full of confidence, is he? And only would take a touch here. Coming in. And Drogba it was, and that's in the back of the net, but I suppose the angle was against him there, but again, the goalkeeper, suspect.
Van Persie, Diaby. Ballack is certainly riled out there. He had that little nibble with Van Persie. And he's strutting around, as he sometimes does when someone has got his back up. Here is Ballack. That won't improve his mood. Fabregas winning it from Lampard. Chelsea have it back with Essien. Lampard, he'll try one.
Oh, not a great strike. Opened up for him a bit there, Frank Lampard. Was a good 30-35 yards out. I suppose having looked at Fabianski's start to this game, even though Arsenal are 1 up, I think we've been thinking about having 1 or 2 more balls into the box and 1 or more strikes on goal.
Wembley does have a history with Polish goalkeepers. Hiddink is trying to change 1 or 2 things out there. He has tinkered with his midfield lineup in recent games. Instead of 1 sitting player, there have been 2. And that's liberated Lampard to get forward a little more. Ballack. 2 really important games from the Barclays Premier League next weekend here on Setanta. On Saturday, we'll be at Old Trafford for Manchester United against Tottenham. And then on the Monday night, what promises to be an occasion full of tension at St James's Park as Newcastle take on Pompey. Here at Wembley, it's Diaby. And he lost his footing as he made contact with the ball. Robin Van Persie.
What an opportunity that was. Michael Ballack dived in, wanted the throw-in, thought it was out. It didn't look out to me. Diaby through on goal, had 2 choices really. Unfortunately, there was a slip in there. There was a chance for Diaby to take it on as well and have a strike.
Ashley Cole. Eboué. Arsenal leading through Theo Walcott's deflected goal after 18 minutes. Alex. Gibbs. Lampard. Now Drogba.
Well, again, he had a decision to make here when Lampard slips this little ball into him. Is Eboué on the cover? Can he take it on and try and out-muscle Eboué here? It's not a good play from Colatori in there, stepping out from centre-back. Does he drive in here? No, Sylvester's in the way. Keeper's probably not far enough off the line. I think he's looking to hit that top left-hand corner, and well, they've not passed each other yet, Anelka and Drogba in this game. The link-up's not there, certainly not with Anelka out on the right-hand side. Not comfortable. It's a decision for Gus Hiddink to make.
Essien. I think he's not one to bow to egos. Dealt with enough of them in his time. He's had plenty of heartbreak in semi-finals, twice in the World Cup and in the last European Championship with Russia. Having said that, anyone that can take South Korea to the last 4 of a World Cup Has to be something akin to genius.
Arsenal seem to be passing it a little bit better and a little bit more composed with the two sides. I think Chelsea have almost been in a couple of times, but it's almost as much as Arsenal just been a little bit sloppy in midfield, giving the ball away, that's allowed Chelsea to do that. But
Late challenge by Ballack on Danielson, spotted by the referee, but Arsenal in possession. Terry out of play for an Arsenal throw. Walcott. Drogba. Essien. Too much on it for Ballack. Van Persie. Danielson. Adebayor. Blocked by Alex. Anelka. 10 years since he left Arsenal. Athletically cut out by Van Persie for Fabregas. And Walcott. Whistle's gone.
I thought this was close,
Flags
John.
raised.
I felt he timed this one quite well from our position. The referee's assistant's a lot closer than we are, but you watch him running from deep here. He's onside. I felt he was. You know, the assistant's looking straight across at it. It's not a difficult decision for me. The keeper makes a save in the end. I don't know if he heard the whistle or not, Walcott, but you know, again, the player running from deep there and have been allowed to get in. Poor decision.
Lampard. Released by Cole. That was Toure. Ballack. Malouda. There's a hand in there, but on we go. Abu Diaby. He's going to have to do this more or less alone. Terry. Chelsea struggling to impose themselves. Malouda. Cole had been impeded in his own mind, not in the referee's. And it brings the Dutch guru striding out for a word in the ear of Philip Sharp. Ballack. Cole. Those that are booing Ashley Cole of an Arsenal persuasion haven't yet seen the replays that we've had of the goal. When they do see them, they'll be doubly delighted by the scoreline and the nature of the goal's creation. Here's Alex, who played for Hiddink at PSV. Anelka, Ivanovic, robbed by Gibbs, who's looked pretty sharp down this left-hand side. No sign of that injury at all. Now an Arsenal free kick.
Well, he's not had to be asked twice to get forward, is he, young Gibbs? Especially as he was a doubt for this game.
Fabregas, lazy swing of that wonderful right foot. Theo Walcott. Essien. Ballack. Lampard. Boy, rather caught out there. Oh, and the equalising goal results. Flora Malouda. And what was Aboué playing at?
Well, not just Aboué, John, but Fabianski. What a beast of a start to this game he's had. A real nightmare. I spoke about getting shots on target and getting them under a bit of pressure. It's a decent ball, this, on the diagonal. You know, it's very close. It looks level, benefit of the doubt, but Aboué's sleeping. Lets him come inside, doesn't get close enough. And to be quite honest with you, semi-final, you know, he shouldn't be getting beaten at your near post. Gets his angles wrong there. He should not be beaten at that near post. End of story. Shouldn't even be up for debate. And, well, there has to be a challenge on Malouda. It's not his strongest foot, but at least he hit the target there. And I have to say, the keepers looked suspect from the start.
Well, 2 goals that will have the coaches tearing their hair out. Walcott for Arsenal, Malouda for Chelsea, his first ever FA Cup goal. And this all-London semi-final is tied at 1 apiece. And there is a crestfallen Polish goalkeeper away to our right, looking very lonely. Lampard. Ashley Cole. Oh, Walcott a little naughty there, pulling back Cole.
Well, I'm not sure how much he meant to do it, but it doesn't matter. It's an infringement. Nice little ball in behind. He just clips his heel. I don't think there was any intent there, but it's certainly a free kick. That's for sure. Goose head, I think, a bit frustrated about it, but that goal from Malouda's really given Chelsea a boost. And, well, from the first minute, John, the goalkeeper, it's as simple as he just looks suspect. I don't know if it's nerves or I don't know.
Time for the other half of Wembley to sing.
I would think the Drogba taking it as a strike. Otherwise, why would he be out there?
Well, against Fabianski, given his current uncertainties, may well be worth a go. He of the orange boots. Drogba actually played it in, and Adebayor tried to deal with it, failed to clear. Ballack got a touch on it. Van Persie hacks it away. Ashley Cole. Complexion of this game has changed. And in the last 3 meetings of Arsenal and Chelsea, the side that scored the first goal has ended up losing. Lampard. Anelka hit his back. Lampard with Diaby. Sylvestre. Oof.
The second time Sylvestre did that. First one wasn't quite as close, but again, I don't think he was aware of Drogba coming in there, John. I just didn't quite understand Drogba taking that free kick if he's not going to have a strike. I mean, surely you'd want him in the box. Didn't make sense.
Sylvestre go all the way through to Petr Cech. He won't be happy with his part in Theo Walcott's goal, but he'll be nowhere near as unhappy as his opposite number. He was standing away to our right with hands on his knees. Barely moving.
It wasn't a strong hand from Petr Cech, John, was it? I mean, maybe we were being a bit harsh on him because he was coming back across. Interesting to see what the lads say at half-time, but certainly, you know, no doubt in my mind, Fabianski was to blame there. You don't get beat at the near post, simple.
Anelka, oh, Van Persie and Drogba squaring up. This is Ivanovic. Danielson. Diaby needs to get rid of it, and quickly he's lost it to Anelka! Denied by the base of the post. Chelsea could have turned this round in the space of 3 minutes.
And that's hotting up now. Again, Arsenal just sort of shooting themselves in the foot in their own box, dwelling on the ball. You don't do that with the likes of Anelka around. He's coming off the right-hand side. Any type of sniff in the box, John, he will have a strike.
Here is Anelka. Would love to be more central. He's having to perform a role for the team. Malouda, Chelsea's goal scorer. That's a corner.
Well, again, you just don't dwell on the ball. Well, I mean, Danielson trying to play it to Diaby actually puts him in a whole heap of trouble in there, and I mean, Diaby didn't clear it. He's taken 2 or 3 touches on it. He probably the best thing is try to hook it clear. Couple of inches inside the post, John Fabianski wasn't getting there. So unlucky from an Elkert.
Chelsea in the ascendancy. Lampard in. Kolo Touré's header out as far as Essien. Terry stayed forward. Malouda. Van Persie. Oh, that was a bad challenge by Ivanovic. Yellow card out for the first time today.
Yeah, that's high. That's a silly challenge. So early. He's not had a great start. Ivanovic. Young Gibbs has been given a few problems as well. It's a little bit reckless. It's a yellow card, nothing more. Very clumsy. Be aware that he's a dangerous player, Van Persie. Van Persie on Drogba just a bit earlier. Catches him a bit late with the studs, and then the hand comes up, catches Drogba in the face as well. He wasn't particularly happy about it. Gesticulating to Van Persie. Maybe a bit of retribution from Ivanovic.
We also saw in one of those replays that the boot of the Chelsea player just clipped Van Persie when he was on the ground.
Well, I think he'll be a marked man, isn't it? Van Persie, dangerous player, is playing more off the left-hand side today. And they'll be looking to ruffle his feathers. He has got that little nasty streak in him as well, Van Persie, so he can be riled. Important for him that he doesn't raise to the bait.
Colin Lewin has escorted him to the near touchline. Fabregas restarts. Arsenal temporarily a man down. Van Persie back on now down below us. Diaby. Danielson. Eboué. It's Theo Walcott. Gibbs is battling to keep that in play. He wasn't far short. Huge game for a 19-year-old. First time he's ever faced Chelsea. Ivanovic. Essien. Chelsea finishing the half strongly. Anelka couldn't quite gather it in his stride pattern. Essien. Ballack. Lofted towards Lampard, flags up for offside.
Yeah, it was two of them off at the back post. Frank Lampard, finger up. Didn't feel he was. Wasn't a great deal of the pace in this cross coming in, just really floated up, just off. Correct decision, free them off. Frank didn't think so.
Walcott. Lampard. 2 against 1 though. This is Danielson. Van Persie. Gibbs. Fabregas. Diaby. This time Arsenal have men forward. It's all the more galling from their perspective that the cross was as poor as that. from his two.
Well, look at the first goal here for Walcott. Got them circled here, you know, Anelka's not picking up. Gibbs, you can just see them there, he's switched off, sleeping really. Walcott just holds his ground. The rest is history. Off Ashley Cole's hand. Peter Cech maybe could have done a little bit better. Maybe I'm just been a bit harsh on him there, but the deflection did him in the end, but not great defending.
Seen are two eminently preventable goals.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Toure. Terry. Fabregas, that was late. That was Ballack. Referee's playing a decent advantage. Fabregas still down. Walcott. Halted by John Terry.
I would think Ballack might go in the book here. Interesting to see what Matt Atkinson does. You're right, it was a good advantage. He was right to play it.
He sailed close to the wind a time or two, the German. Lost his temper briefly earlier in the game. Here's Lampard. Essien. Now, Malouda from the goalkeeper's bowl out. Hits Aboué. There was a half-hearted, stifled appeal.
Arsenal just trying to force things. Yeah, he's going to bring it back.
Ballack. It's going to be yellow.
Yeah, I don't think there's any surprise here. It was the tackle was from behind. It was clumsy. He had no chance of playing the ball. I think he knew that, Michael Ballack. I think it was a bit cheeky. He was hoping he would get away without a yellow card, but the referee was spot on.
An element of anger from Gus Hiddink and Chris Foy, the fourth official, having to deal with it. Graham Poll is up here on the gantry with us and just whispered in my ear, top referee Martin Atkinson. Lampard. What Arsenal could do with this first half ending. Need to regroup, try and steady themselves. They're in a decent position for quite a while in this first half. And we're anticipating 2 additional minutes. Ivanovic, Ballack. It's Walcott, put in by Lampard. Arsenal throw.
As interesting as the half's worn on, that Frank Lampard has started to make some more runs getting forward, and for the first 25-30 minutes he was getting picked up, but he's starting to run off Danielson now. They haven't quite found the ball yet, and that's something Arsenal have to watch, as well as the passing in these sort of areas. I mean, we know they like to pass it, John Arsenal, but they've taken a fair amount of risks at times in this first half in the areas they've been doing it.
Danielson. And there'll be a deal of frustration from the management teams of both as they head down the tunnel in a minute or so's time. Here's Ballack. Ashley Cole. Flora Malouda. Essien. Alex. It's Lampard. Straight to Van Persie. And he's lost out to Anelka. And Van Persie tried to slice down Anelka. Toure in the way. Sylvestre tries to clear.
Well, if he could have found the right ball there, Frank Lampard, as Didier Drogba was free at the back post.
Just about time for this Chelsea throw. On by Drogba. Tame header by Anelka, who could get no purchase. And Chelsea would take the whistle now with the ball in Fabianski's hands. Half-time in the first FA Cup semi-final at Wembley Stadium. Theo Walcott putting Arsenal in front with a volley that took a nick off Ashley Cole and might have been saved by Czech. Florent Malouda, 12 minutes shy of half-time, equalising when Fabianski most definitely should have kept the ball out of the net. Good play by the teenager Gibbs. Walcott, scarcely older than him, profiting. Petr Cech will look at himself as well as Ashley Cole. Arsene Wenger off the bench in celebration. His young tyros starting well. But then defensively, very slack. Eboué failed to mark up. Malouda had a chance. And Fabianski beaten at his near post unforgivably. And hardly what the Pole would want on the occasion of his 24th birthday, which so far I guess. All night by all.
Towards their own goal, so he just drops into that little hole. Well, I have to say it set up really nicely for him. It was half a chance, not taken particularly well.
Malouda never held down a starting place at Chelsea for very long, but is their goal scorer today. Ballack. Straight to Robin van Persie. And then wastes it. Ivanovic does well to keep his footing. Essien. Malouda. Essien whacked it against Walcott. And now the speedster can fly. Away from Ashley Cole. Cole is no slouch himself. Kept in by Ivanovic. Diaby. Left by Fabregas, which made it comfortable for Alex. Malouda. Cole. Drogba staying onside. This is Florent Malouda. Ballack. Ivanovic. Lampard. Michael Essien.
I see the prawn sandwich brigade, John, funneling back to the seats on the far side there.
Empty seats gradually being filled. Yet to become a gripping semi-final. Certainly one that's always held the interest. And the promise of better to come. Ivanovic. Cover provided by Gibbs. Here's Fabregas. Lampard wins it for Drogba. Sylvestre to Gibbs. That's neat for Kieran Gibbs. Eventually runs into the rock that is Alex. Adebayo going for it with Terry, who was solid.
Yeah, good defending John Terry there, because the only run he can make Adebayo's across that near post. And that's where he made a beeline for, but John Terry spotted him.
Eboué. Halted by that man Terry.
Opened up from where Michael Ballack was going there. I just haven't got a clue. He's not even making an attempt to go to the ball.
Malouda. Lampard. It's offside. Two empty boxes on FA Cup semi-final day. Have to be rich to afford to pay for them and not use them. No wonder. Not seen sight nor sound of Roman Abramovich so far. And he does have two boxes on that side of the ground. Malouda. Lampard tried to turn it for Cole. That's Eboué. Now to Nielsen. And Lampard snaffled it back for Didier Drogba. Now for Anelka, then for Lampard. And at last Anelka and Drogba do combine.
Yeah, maybe unselfish from Anelka, but he doesn't have to square this. Again, Nielsen, who was caught about 2 or 3 times in the first half in dangerous areas. I spoke about it. You know, they like to play the passing game, we know that. but they're taking far too many risks for me, Arsenal. Well, there was an opportunity, I thought, for Anelka to put a strike on.
Lampard asking for more noise from the Chelsea fans at that end. De Nielsen's header out. This is Malouda. Lampard still wide. 5 in the box. Came off the head of Sylvestre. Corner on this near side. And they've got the taste for this, Chelsea. Arsenal had a good spell midway through the first half, but faded after Fabianski's error. Ballack to the near post. Ivanovic, such a threat from these, of course. It's beyond him. It's towards Terry. Diaby steers it. Anelka. Essien. Michael Ballack. Ivanovic nods down. Diaby hooks clear. Eboué. Was caught out for Chelsea's equalising goal. It's better coming forward. Fabregas comes last off Ivanovic. Chelsea have a man down. It's going to be a brief stoppage.
Looks like John Terry taking a sore one. Arsenal missed a chance again there on that break. Eboué ran down the right-hand side, but there was an early ball to Walcott, who stayed on the left. He didn't spot it. Possibly just the way he lands. He wins the header here. He comes down. I don't know if you can see the grimace in the face. He obviously just jars that left ankle there.
The noise of North London countered by that of West London.
A quick look at the goals again. Too much space on the wide position for young Gibbs. Lovely little floated ball in for Walcott, who again had space. And then Eboué, for me, switching off because he had plenty of time from that long diagonal to get closer. The lads talked about it. And when you cut inside on that right foot, you've got to expect a challenge, and you should not, Fabianski, be beating at that near post. You might say he saw it later, it came through Eboué's legs, doesn't matter. If he gets his angles right, he saves it.
John Terry is back on. Eboué. Diaby had run into space. Walcott. Oh, it's a nice escape from Theo Walcott. What followed, not quite so impressive.
Well, there's no doubt if they can get him one-on-one with Ashley Cole. I said it would be a good foot race, lovely bit of skill there, but there's always been somebody from Chelsea's point of view waiting to back up. If he does get that touch past Ashley Cole, there's always been another player there. And you have to say that's good teamwork.
Drogba. Diaby. Alex. Kolo Touré, twice a cup winner with Arsenal. He won it 4 times under Arsene Wenger's tutelage. The furrowed brow tells its own tale.
I just wonder if he's thinking about a change. Certainly, you know, they've got to get Fabregas more involved in the game, and whether that's dropping him a bit deeper, then so be it, because he can start dictating from then. He's searching for the ball at the moment, searching for that little bit of space where he can be found, but it's not happening.
And he said publicly this week he prefers the deeper role.
Yeah, because I think that's where he does his best work, and then he can come in unannounced. At the moment, he's been pushing forward. He's quite easy to pick up.
Diaby. It's nice. It's Adebayor. It's Walcott. Van Persie's far side.
Well, he did everything right, Van Persie, because he anticipated that this was the one place Theo Walcott was going to stick this ball. I have to say, it's a lovely ball in. It's just all it was missing was somebody getting on the end of it, and it can only be inches away at the back post, Van Persie. And well, Arsene Wenger knows it. There's not been many chances for them in this second half, and maybe if Van Persie just been a bit sharper to get in, might just have got there.
All square in this first semi-final of the FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON. A game that must be settled today, whether in 90 minutes, 120, or from the penalty spot. 10 years since semi-final replays were wiped off the slate. Malouda. That was Toure. Anelka. Ballack. Kieran Gibbs. That goes Ivanovic, 5 or 6 yards. Ashley Cole. Drogba. Sylvestre with him. Anelka back in. Didier Drogba.
I just tried to float that in there for Essien. Realised he couldn't score. Didier Drogba. A bit too much on the header.
Drogba on. Malouda successfully blocked off by Aboué. Adebayor. Danielson. Anelka against his old club, 2 for company. One of them is Essien. So good blocking challenge by Aboué.
Again, just that final ball. Nicholas Anelka a bit frustrated, arms up, felt he was the pass.
Fabregas. Walcott, scorer of the opening goal for Arsenal. Ashley Cole, his direct opponent. Now, Arsenal fans saying that was a push, but a corner is the result.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that he should have had a foul initially, and the left arm had come up just before this, actually, on Walcott, and well, I think the ball was maybe just over there, so they've got a corner.
And whilst we watch the replay, Adebayor has gone through his usual superstition of testing the strength of the net. He's actually standing in the net at the moment. Looks like he's standing on a tube train. Arsenal's first corner. It's taken more than an hour. But it's Robin Van Persie to deliver it, and they're trying to hem check in. Good header out by Ivanovic. Fabregas. Van Persie. Ashley Cole. Aboué. Diaby. Toure. Emmanuel Aboué. Played for and gets the free kick. Kolo Toure. Alex. It's a dominant header. Lampard. Comes to Walcott. Now he was held back there by Ashley Cole. It's been spotted by Martin Atkinson. Tug of the shirt.
It was actually the block diagonal from Frank Lampard. Didier Drogba was away on the right-hand side. And the tug on Walcott's shirt there, so Mark Atkinson spot on, right on it. But
so more questions to be asked of Chelsea's goalkeeper.
the set pieces so far haven't been of the standard or quality you'd expect from both these sides.
Now, there is a history in FA Cup semi-finals of truly spectacular free kicks. Paul Gascoigne comes readily to mind. That was against Arsenal. This is for Arsenal. Does he fancy it? Robin van Persie chipped it in the end onto the head of Cole. Ballack vying for it, keeping it in. Fending off to Nielsen, then going down, and he's won Chelsea a free kick.
And again, another poor set piece, really. I think everybody felt, as we did up here, John, that Van Persie was maybe going to try and strike it. It was a hell of a long way out, but if you watch Petr Cech against Liverpool and Aurelio, then why not try and work him and pile some players in? And again, a free kick in a decent area that really came to nothing.
Cole. That was Sylvestre. Fabregas. Van Persie. Player who was very keen to take to the field today. Robin van Persie's first appearance at Wembley. Eboué. John Terry recovering or not. It's Walcott. Oh, Alex did well to get something on it. Still the danger. Robin van Persie. And in back play, Eboué is down for Arsenal.
Well, I thought Diaby was there actually on this. I mean, John Terry's actually favourite to win this ball here. But just such as the pace of young Walcott, and he mistimes the challenge, Terry. Maybe just was a little bit too far in front of Diaby there. The strike's always in the rise.
Well, Eboué is back up. There was a coming together with Florent Malouda. It's worth another look.
Well, there's been quite a few of these today, just cheeky, snidey little things like that it's very difficult for the referee to pick up because he's watching the game, and I think that's when his assistants have got to come to the fore.
Lampard. Here's Ballack. Plenty forward. Anelka couldn't get his head over the ball.
Well, I wonder if there was a call, and I wonder if that's why Didier Drogba left it, or he might just have felt it was just a little bit too high for him here. Nice little reverse ball. They've got plenty of players, Chelsea, coming in at the back post. And well, I think certainly Anelka gives him a shout that he's got it, but he's always tracking back the way. And I just wondered as he was coming piling into it, Drogba, whether with a leap on it, John, he would have had a better opportunity to get there and get some power in that header.
It's been a big footballing day already. Wolves promoted back to the Premier League under Mick McCarthy. Charlton sadly relegated, that's been coming for a while. Leicester promoted to the Championship. Hereford go down into League Two. Many twists and turns still to unfold, though. In a season that extends into mid-June, England's final international of the campaign, June the 10th. Lampard. Drogba. Lampard!
That's brilliant play from Chelsea again. I mean, you watch Frank Lampard here. He plays it in for Drogba, he continues his run. Fair play to Drogba, he spots him. Decent ball back to Frank Lampard, to be fair. Very difficult skill. Has to let it come across him. Has to keep it down. He does that. He just can't quite find the direction. But again, as the first half wore on, he found himself in more and more space. And again, as this game wears on, he will find that little bit of space, Lampard, if Arsenal are not careful.
Lampard. Drogba gives chase. Goalkeeper started to come. Now he's gone back. It's a appeal for handball there. We play on with Drogba. And Fabianski is grateful to gather it in, and Drogba's gone off in pursuit of the referee's assistant.
Yeah, I wondered if it was Sylvester here, handball coming up. Well, it certainly does come up the left arm. Is there any intent there? I'm not quite sure. We'll look at that again, I'm sure.
Bit more cut and thrust to it now. Just beginning to become stretched. Adebayor. Here comes Gibbs. And that's diligent play by Anelka, who's not known as a right back. Diaby. Fabregas. Emmanuel Eboué. Fabregas. Terry. Ivanovic. The referee giving this every chance. He's pulled it back for the foul by Fabregas now. Ballack. Oh, and Eboué caught out again, sailed over his head to Malouda. Malouda once more. I just wonder whether Arsenal are paying for the lack of a specialist right back.
Yeah, just tucking in a bit too much Eboué, but a talking point from Martin Atkinson was this intent here from Sylvester? Hand comes up. Oh, I think he can quite easily give a penalty there. Graham?
I mean, the question the referee asks is the arm in a natural position? It isn't, and it does come up and strike the ball. I think you're right, a penalty could easily been given, but I'm not sure he'd have seen it from the angle he had. Maybe the assistant could have helped.
Why does he have to raise his arm there? I mean, I think that's the big question. You know, he's got no need, has he?
Walcott. Toure. Here's Eboué. Walcott's found a pocket of space in field. Walcott himself found. And that was a no-messing challenge by John Terry. Adebayor. Fabregas. There's Ballack. That'll be a free kick. Arm across the shoulder was enough for the German to go down.
Well, as the players get tired, as the game's just gone 70 minutes, they will open up. The arms are out here. I don't think he needs too much. Michael Ballack to go down. And Arsene Wenger extremely unhappy with that.
These sides vying for the right to play in the FA Cup final, 6 weeks today. And that game will be live here on Setanta Sports. Not just the game, we're making a whole day of it. Build up to the final starts at 9 in the morning. And although I can't promise you cup final, it's a knockout. We will bring you the final of the world's most revered cup competition in all its glory. Anelka. Toure. Adebayor. And this is Alex. Now it's Lampard. Onside Malouda. Drogba waiting to attack the cross. He's only lightly marked. Further back, Danielson deals with it. Lampard. Walcott robs him. Ashley Cole goes in on Walcott, and then Lampard, and then Danielson, and Arsenal players surrounding the referee. Oh, and hands on the referee from Danielson, who gets away with a yellow. That was most unwise.
And then surrounding the referee, what Chelsea did, they took the free kick quickly. Now they felt Frank Lampard went down far too easily here, but watch Chelsea take the quick free kick. But because the Arsenal players have surrounded the referee, he's got a decision to make. And that's not allowed to stand.
This the season when the Respect programme was introduced. That was a fairly concerted hounding of the match official.
Yeah, because the free kick was a yard or so, maybe just a bit more from where it actually was. But because the Arsenal players surrounded the referee, he had enough on his plate, didn't he?
Arsene Wenger having words with Chris Foy. The referee has had words with the Arsenal captain, Cesc Fabregas. And at the end of that, Chelsea have this free kick. And a very uncertain Arsenal goalkeeper behind the wall. Fortunately, that wall did its job. Clever pass. Walcott. 3 defenders around him. Ashley Cole concedes the throw to his old club. And Arsenal are plotting their first change. Andre Arshavin. The word from the bench is that it'll be Van Persie who comes off. Touré, Adebayor, here's Fabregas, comes off Terry, and then Van Persie felt that he was impeded by Ivanovic. Plenty for the referee to deal with now.
Yeah, it's getting very touchy now, isn't it? And I suppose this is the position that Fabregas has been sort of waiting to be in, where he can be on the nod down. Wasn't the greatest he strikes, straight at Terry. No great surprise about this substitution. The real surprise was he didn't start the match, John.
Applauded by Arsenal, booed by Chelsea. Robin Van Persie, whose brace of goals decided the league meeting in Arsenal's favour at the Bridge in the autumn, doesn't last the course today. Instead, it's the hugely talented Russian Andre Arshavin who comes on to face a team managed by his national team manager.
I'd imagine there's no change of shape. That'll just be a straight swap. And shoving out onto the left where Van Persie was.
Little wonder that this game is so tight. Defeat anathema to both these sides in recent months. Arsenal, 1 defeat in their last 25 games in all competitions. Chelsea, 1 setback in their last 14. And Gus Hiddink anxious to get on with it. Drogba. Lampard. Fabregas. There's Terry. 2 captains together.
Not quite sure he does much here, Fabregas, to be honest with you. He knows John Terry's not going anywhere. I mean, he's clever enough. Why would he bring him down here? You see Terry's got a hold of him. John Terry's got a hold of Fabregas' shot. There may have been a little bit of a coming together.
Lampard. There's Terry. Anelka. We're entering the stage of the game where Arsenal have scored a lot of their cup goals this season, the last 10 minutes. Scored in every round. Not against opposition of this class. Plymouth, Cardiff, Burnley and Hull disposed of. They trailed to Hull for a long time in that controversial quarter-final. And Chelsea coming up against Premier League opposition for the first time in the FA Cup this season. Terry. Saboué, and that's not really helped the Arsenal cause, because here's Drogba, brought it down wonderfully. Didier Drogba then ran out of room.
Yeah, again, the initial play was brilliant because the touch was superb. But what you find is here is, I mean, you mentioned Abu, John, as the game goes on, he's getting worse and worse, finding himself out of position, but he's actually got Michael Essien driving in. Didier Drogba, who was particularly frustrated that he didn't attempt even to slide that across the 6-yard box where he was making a beeline for.
Arshavin. Essien. Malouda couldn't keep it in. Now the sides third and fourth in the Barclays Premier League, still toe-to-toe, with the prospect, if we don't get a goal in the next 11 minutes plus stoppage time, of half an hour of extra time. Danielson to Fabregas. Arshavin. Fabregas.
Yeah, that extra touch just allowed Alex to get out and block it. A little bit hesitant, Fabregas there.
Coming together of Sylvestre and Drogba, and Sylvestre is penalised.
Well, Arsenal certainly feel they've been wronged at the moment. It's a very good battle between this pair. Both backing in. I suppose you could say there's a little tug from Sylvestre, but not a great deal. Drogba's always looking for it. He's off balance as well, so he's always falling backwards.
Remember, Drogba almost always seems to score against Arsenal. He's bullied them on just about every time he's faced them. And he must have looked at the defence today and thought, hey, I've got a chance, particularly against Sylvestre. There's Lampard, that was Ivanovic. It is a goal kick. Chelsea trying to upset Arsenal, just as Sir Trevor Brooking did all those years ago with a famous header in a final. And Chelsea thinking of a substitution. Solomon Kalou being spoken to by the temporary manager. Often authority is a problem with temporary employees, not with Gus Hiddink. When he says jump, the players ask how high. Looks like Bentner may be coming on for Arsenal. Only had one substitution in the game so far. Arshavin on for Van Persie. Here's Malouda, but the offside flag is raised on the far side by Phil Sharp. Black armbands being worn to mark the 20th anniversary of Hillsborough. And Solomon Kalou is now going to replace Nicholas Anelka.
This is one of the ones we wondered who's going to play at the start. Would it be Anelka? Would it be Kalou? Kalou gets his chance. For sure, I don't think they're going to Adebayor off, so that would indicate that Bentner's going to go up with Adebayor, and that'll be a change of shape. Well, we actually do think it's here, and it is Adebayor, which I thought you wanted to keep him on, to be fair.
So the Chelsea team, with the exception of Terry, who was suspended in the week, now the same as that which started against Liverpool. And Adebayor looks reluctant to leave.
Yeah, I'm a bit perplexed about this one. He may not be fully fit in terms of he's missed quite a few games this season, but he is still arguably one of their better players, and somebody who in a moment could change the game. I felt maybe Arsene Wenger would have gone with two up there and at least give them something to hit, and give the two centre-halves to Chelsea, Terry and Alex, a bit more of a problem, really. Anyway, what do I know?
Well, hopefully quite a lot. Craig Burley, 3 times an FA Cup semi-finalist with Chelsea, 2 wins and a defeat. Played in a semi-final here against Luton. Here's Drogba. Goalkeeper hesitating again. Didier Drogba! Off comes the shirt. A yellow card, the least of his worries, because that may be the goal that sends Chelsea to the FA Cup final.
well, for the first 6 months of this season, Didier Drogba was nothing but a liability for Chelsea Football Club. But somewhere along the line, he suddenly thought, I've got to get my act together here. And well, it's just a punt up the field, really. Well, maybe it's a bit more than that, but he does brilliantly initially. But I have to say again, Fabianski's decision-making in this game, from the first minute to the 84th minute, has been shocking, because there's still a lot to do, folks, for Drogba. Because Sylvester might be getting back round, but he makes his mind up from here. He comes out, he hasn't got a prayer, the keeper, who winning this ball. And Drogba does brilliantly. He goes it round, and there's an open net staring straight at him, and he doesn't disappoint.
The reaction on the bench. Dutch delight, French frustration, Arsenal despair. And Arsenal penalised.
I just can't believe. I'm not quite sure what Arsene Wenger's bemoaning there, but you know what he's got to bemoan is his keeper's performance so far, because I mean, he's got to have sussed he was never going to get there, John. Never getting there in a month of Sundays, and he made the big striker's mind up for him.
There's Drogba. Here's Kalou. Drogba again. Held up for a while by Sylvestre.
And that's what I'm saying about taking Adebayor off. You know, all right, he couldn't foresee that Chelsea were going to go up and score, as we see Nasri about to come on, but you know, wouldn't it have been beneficial to keep the big striker on and put Bentner up beside him, because now he's got problems.
Big problems. Ivanovic. That's Danielson. There's Essien. And poor Lukasz Fabianski tries to retrieve the ball away to our left as Samir Nasri prepares to come on in place of Danielson.
Well, he can only pray, Fabianski, that you know one of his teammates is going to bail him out. I've been in that position in the semi-final, having made a really bad mistake, a really bad decision, like Fabianski's just made, like he made in the first minute against Drogba, but got away with that one. But this is just a bit pace and power. He just shrugs Sylvester out the way. Sylvester can't handle that, and well, and then they keep up no man's land.
Ivanovic. Nasri on to add attacking power, but time is against Arsenal. Nasri. Eboué. Walcott. Touré. Fabregas. Arshavin. They need some magic from him. Instead, they have to defend. It's Essien. Drogba and Kalou up with him. Arsenal having to back off. And Sylvestre blocking the ball. Comes to Bentner. And out of necessity, we begin to see an air of desperation attached to Arsenal's play. Always silky smooth, but so much urgency now as Arshavin is crowded out. And then down goes Drogba, hacked at by Touré, vice-captain and captain of the Ivory Coast.
Oh, this is just frustration. That's all this is. They've just lost the second goal. They've got 3 minutes plus a bit of injury time to get back into the game. They've taken their best striker off. They didn't play arguably one of their best players in Arshavin, and that seems to have backfired at the moment, because he's not been able to get into the game in the little time he's been on.
Malouda. Now, anyone to cross to? Drogba's getting there slowly. He is there now, so's Kalou.
If you take the Drogba goal, the 2-1 out of the equation, John, I think as the game's worn on, the Chelsea midfield three essaying Ballack, Lampard have outfought, they've outmuscled, and they've outplayed the Arsenal trio in there, and that's the bottom line.
Offside, Malouda. Well, in the midst of all this, our panellists, Terry Venables, Steve McManaman and Ray Parlour, have selected Chelsea's Frank Lampard as the Eon Man of the Match. Arshavin, Walcott, too strong for Bentner. Kalou with Diaby. Given away. Fabregas. Wenger says Arsenal have got plenty of spirit, they need to show it now. Fabregas to Gibbs. And Petr Cech, very comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, he's one guy I would expect Arsenal to try and put under a bit of pressure this evening. He's been in the papers all week, Petr Cech making mistakes, maybe smarting a bit from some of the criticism he's been taking in the press, but they haven't really, at any given time, been able to apply enough pressure to him.
Chelsea taking their time. Adebayor substituted just before the goal came. 3 additional minutes. John Terry, Chelsea's captain, hit the back of Solomon Kalou. Walcott. Bentner, slightly misplaced. Fabregas, though. Again, Nicholas Bentner. An opportunity here for a young player to find a defining moment. Bentner. Arshavin with a chance. Corner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cech's always getting there, but Alex doesn't want to take any chances. As Bentner whips this in, no Adebayor in there, so not a great deal to aim for. Good challenge from the big defender, but here's a chance to put Petr Cech under a bit of pressure if the ball's right.
Too often today it hasn't been right. It's better from Arshavin. It's flapped out. Bentner went for it. Back to the corner taker, the Russian. Touré, that's decisive from Cech.
You're right, that was much better.
And there are 2 players laid out, in fact 3, if you count Sylvestre, who's only semi with it. And so Martin Atkinson is forced to blow his whistle.
It's like a car crash in there, isn't it? I mean, just 3 bodies down. Petr Cech come through the middle of them. Better goalkeeping there. Didier Drogba's in the middle of him as well, trying to do his bit defensively. And the goalkeeper, he just takes charge of the situation, something he's maybe not been doing of late, but had to come and make a decision. And the Arsenal fans can't bear to watch as the game just ebbs away.
And whilst all this is going on, alone with his thoughts 100 yards away is the Polish goalkeeper, Łukasz Fabianski, whose 24th birthday is today, but all the presents have been doled out by him.
In his dreams, he comes forward, the ball comes in, his head's on the end of it, and he digs himself out a massive hole. In reality, that ain't going to happen. It's down to whether one of the other 10 in his side can do something in a game now that's ebbing away because of, well, at 1-8 because of this rash, stupid decision from a goalkeeper who's looked an edge from the first minute. He's looked like the occasion's gotten to him because his decisions making's been impaired. And Drogba certainly took advantage of it, and it looks like it's taken him to the final at the moment.
Well, time is up, but of course we have had that reasonably lengthy stoppage. Bit early to celebrate.
I think we've got a minute or thereabouts.
Chelsea are wasting as many seconds as they can. Ivanovic eventually with the throw to Kalou. Of course, the script now would be a corner won by Arsenal, and Fabianski comes forward to head the equaliser. But this is real football, not fantasy football. Ibue. Diaby. Crescendo of whistles around the ground, most of them issued by Chelsea supporters. Ibue, time for the Hail Mary. Ivanovic. Seem to be more blue shirts than red out there now. Chelsea almost there. Arsenal virtually out. Ballack goes over. Chelsea free kick, that may be enough.
Well, I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I mean, keeping Arshavin on the bench, I think Arsenal fans will be asking why. And I said at the time, taking Adebayor off as well. I don't think that was the cleverest of decisions. At a time when, you know, Chelsea were just strong and seeing anything Arsenal threw at them, they were just seeing it out.
What a week for Chelsea! Semi-finalists in the Champions League, finalists in the FA Cup, and Gus Hiddink's farewell with his Midas touch will be made at the FA Cup final at the end of May. Wonderful for Chelsea, who came from behind in this game. That's been the pattern between these two. But for all the men celebrating, there are those in the depths of despair. And deeper than most will be Łukasz Fabianski. Craig Burley, your thoughts?
Well, I thought Arsenal started particularly well. I was surprised about the team selection. I think a lot of people around here were. But in the end, a lot of guys spoke about the power of Chelsea. Certainly in Drogba, who we spoke about before the game, and certainly in midfield, in Lampard and Essien and Ballack. The boy's named Lampard man of the match. But you know, I just thought they overpowered Arsenal in the end. And Arsenal, for their troubles, they couldn't really get their main man, Cesc Fabregas, in the game in the position he was playing. He didn't change the tactics, Arsene Wenger. He continued to play with the one-up, which didn't suit them, I didn't think. And in the end, Chelsea were just too good. They deserved it. But Łukasz Fabianski tonight will go away wondering what might have been in a semi-final where from the first minute to the end of the game, he made too many mistakes, and that was the difference.
And your old club will play in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, and Gus Hiddink, as you said at the end there, he's certainly got something about him. I can understand. I've been in Fabianski's position. You know, it is an absolute nightmare. But for everybody's mistake, John, somebody makes herself a hero. And Malouda with the first, and Drogba, who would have thought about it? For 6 months this season, Chelsea fans probably wished they'd have sodded off. But for the last 6 months, they're delighted to have him.
Well, it's Chelsea who remain out there, and Arsenal who are dealing with their own tears. No FA Cup final for them. The man of the match, Frank Lampard, who nearly scored the decisive goal, placed it just wide and therefore narrowly failed to emulate his father all those years ago, whose goal won an FA Cup semi-final for West Ham. Instead, it was Didier Drogba who ended up dancing around the corner flag. He has inflicted more torment on Arsenal than on any other team. And the other man that we must think of has disappeared the scene, Łukasz Fabianski. Wembley has a habit of making heroes and creating villains. Drogba in the mood to waste good champagne, and why not? But all those years ago, a Polish goalkeeper came here, was christened a clown, and became a hero. Sadly today, for Arsenal's young Polish custodian, the opposite has happened. But it's Chelsea's day, and they'll have another one here in 6 weeks' time in front of the biggest ever semi-final crowd in the 137-year history of this most revered of cup competitions. Chelsea have beaten Arsenal here at Wembley by 2-1.